Good morning, grade 7. Today we will talk about grammar in use, exactly modal verbs. This page is in the booklet, page number 6. We will have a look first over here, quick look, then we will move to the books. The modal verbs you are familiar with. They are nearly a kind of helping verb. They come before the main verb. They have certain meanings. They express ability, obligation, possibility, etc. You use them in your daily life, in your school. Let's meet them and know the meanings for each one. Can, to express ability or to request permission. Here are the examples, you can read them. Could is the past of can, to express ability in the past or to request permission to be polite, more polite than can. May, to express possibility or to request permission. Might, to express possibility, we might buy a new house next year. Must, there's no difference between may and might. Must, to express obligation, to express necessity. Something necessary that you should do. You must leave early to the airport. Something necessary. Should and ought to give an advice. Would, to offer something, used in F sentences. Okay, you have to memorize the meaning as you know your names. Can for ability, may for possibility, must for obligation, should and ought to give an advice, would to offer something. Memorize them, as easy as that. How to make a sentence with the modals. In the modals, we use subject, modal verb, infinitive. It might rain. Infinitive like verb 1. Okay, grade 7. Affirmative means regular sentence. Subject, modal verb, verb 1. It might rain, you should leave, you ought to leave. The negative. Subject, modal verb, plus not, plus infinitive, verb 1. She couldn't swim. He couldn't shout in the class. He ought not to. Remember, notice here that ought to, for the not, we put it in the middle, okay? He ought not to shout in the class. Interrogative means question. Modal verb, subject, then the verb. Must we take a test? Ought we to do that? Okay, grade 7. Let's do the exercise below here. Choose the correct verb. They ought or mustn't smoke in the hospital. Ought for an advice, mustn't for necessity or for obligation. And smoking in the hospital, it's an obligation, so you mustn't smoke in the hospital. Number 2, if you are hungry, you should eat a sandwich or you must. Must for obligation, should for an advice, and this is an advice, so we use should. I can't or shouldn't hear you. Can for ability, should for advice. I can't hear you, so it means ability, I can't. She may wear a uniform at school. Something at the school, it is necessary or it's an obligatory, so we use must. Might or should a new site cause a noise? Should for advice, might for possibility, so we are talking about possibility here in this question. You are tired, you should or ought not relax. If you are tired, you should relax. They are both for advice, but this is affirmative and this is interrogative. If you are tired, you should relax, okay? Should or should to, we Tell him the news. There is nothing should to. It is should only. The only modal verb which has to, it's o to. Only. The only one. Number 8, you should or might study for the quiz. You should study for the quiz. I might or should buy this CD, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure, so I might. Possibility, it may happen or it may not. Can or may you swim? We are asking about ability, so it's can. Now, let's move to a pupil's book. Here we are on page 83. I want you to read this conversation between Laura, Ross, and Holly. They are making a project about making new buildings. And in the conversation, I will not read it because it will take a lot of time. I need you to read it carefully. I need you to notice that they are using the modal verbs here. It may look, it may be lost, it might become, can see, like might not. It is used over here. I will answer the questions for you. These 6 questions I will underline, and you can underline with me. Question number 1, where is the Greenfields Park? What is it like? It is in the center town. It's a vast green space. So these are for question number 1. Question number 2, what might happen to the park? It might become a noisy site building. Number 2. Number 3, what does the council want to build there? They want to build new town library. Question number 3. And question number 4, is the design modern or traditional? From the reading, you can notice that it is modern. You can write the word modern next to question number 4. And question number 5, is everyone happy with the design? No, because some people feel such a modern design should not be next to the traditional center town, and others say the precious open spaces in the town. This is for question number 5. Sorry for that. And question number 6, will Hampton get its new library? It may not. This is for question number 6. Underline it, please. Grade 7. I want to drag your attention to a point that it wasn't mentioned in the booklet. We said that we can make from the model affirmative, regular sentences, interrogative, negative sentences, interrogative question, and negative sentences, and also we can make passive sentences. If you remember, the passive, if we don't know who is the subject, or we don't want to mention the subject, we are focusing on the object. The sentence would be like subject, modal verb, passive infinitive. Passive infinitive means be plus verb 2. Plus verb 3, sorry. I'm sorry for that. A bridge should be built. The question must be answered. That tree ought to be cut down. Okay? The passive infinitive means be plus verb 3. In activity number 3, he wants us to make questions and answers. Use may or might for the answers. We will do 1 or 2 as an example. Number 1 is already done. the question will be we will be using will, and in the questions we will use may or might. Okay. Number 2, we will use might. Greenfield spark disappear. Easy. Well, the interrogative to put the question word, the subject and the verb. Well, greenfield, like this. Well, greenfield spark disappear. The answer is from the text, actually, you can get it. Yes, it might be lost. The answer, yes, it might be lost. Here we are focusing on the disappearing of green fields, not who makes it disappear. So we are using the passive. Yes, it might be lost. Number 3, the town's open spaces be destroyed. Will the town's open spaces be destroyed? Yes, the town's open spaces may be destroyed. Okay. For activity number 4, read and make sentences. Use the verbs in brackets. We'll do also 1 or 2. Your friend has difficulty reading the words on the blackboard. What advice do you give him? Shouldn't, ought to. Maybe you can say you ought to visit eye doctor, optician. Number 2, your friend is worried because he failed his last science test. What advice do you give him? Ought not to, should. You ought not to waste more time, or you should study harder. Easy. You can give an advice with should not, ought to, or ought not to. Let's move to the workbook, page 70, please. Now on page 70, activity number 1 in the workbook, rewrite the sentences, use the verb in brackets. Note grade 7 that you have to delete some words from the original sentences so it can suit with the modal verb. Perhaps they will build a new library. Perhaps means maybe. Okay, so we need to delete perhaps and we say they. Perhaps and will also. Perhaps they may build a new library. Number 2, it is possible that the building will look very modern. Possible, we should delete possible, we delete will. It is no, not it is, sorry. It might look very modern. Number 3, maybe the council will suggest a new site. Maybe with will, the council might suggest a new site. Number 4, the new library will possibly cost a lot of money. Will and possibly, the new library may cost a lot of money. Okay, now let's move to activity number 2. Activity number 2, complete the sentences with one of the verbs in brackets. It's similar to the one that we have done in the booklet. Number 1, if you don't like the design, you say so. You might or you should. You should. Say so. I open the window, please. Can or must? We are asking, it's a request, so we use can. Number 3, you never speak rudely to your teachers. Might or must? You must never speak. It's an obligation. If you are hungry, you ought to or mustn't. An advice, you ought to. Number 5, it's very cold. I think it should snow or it might snow. We're talking about possibility, so it's might. And finally, number 6, I buy a CD, but I'm not sure. Possibility, can or may? May. Can for ability, may for possibility. Grade 7. Number 3, read and make sentences. Use the word in brackets. This exercise depends on your own ideas. Okay? I want you to do it as a homework. Send it on Saturday to your teachers. Okay? Today is Thursday. Send it to your teachers on Saturday, inshallah. Now I want you to move to activity number 4. On a piece of a sticky note or on this blank cover here, I want you to write with me the meanings for each of these phrasal verbs of the verb get. Get rid of. You can write the meaning. You can number them. You can put the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in this blank over here, you can write the meanings here. Okay? Got the idea? Number 1, which is get rid of. Get rid of, to remove something or dispose it. Number 2, get away, escape. Number 3, get on with, to deal with. Number 4, get over, means to recover or become well. Number 5, get out of, mean to go out. Okay, you can write the meanings. And let's do the activity as well. Sentence number 1. Sally can't her disappointment at failing her exams. She can't her disappointment. She can't get over, to recover from her disappointment, to become well. I don't want to go to the party, but I don't know how to get out of it. Number 3, we need to these old clothes to get rid of, to remove these clothes or to dispose these clothes. Number 4, everyone likes Paul. He is very easy to get on with. And the last one, we tied a rope around the horse's neck so that it couldn't get away. Thank you very much. See you next class إن شاء الله.